Hello, everybody there in YouTube land. I am Chris the Shrinerdawg, coming to you from my hometown of Federal Way, Washington. I have not been to this mall in probably 6 or 7 years. It's been forever since I'm here. I have a map of the mall from 2008. I wanted to bring with me, but I actually did not know I was gonna be here in the area at the time. But I'll bring that up at the end of the video. Anyways, thanks for watching today's video. Let's go check out the mall for a little while. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here real quick. I would like to invite you to stay until the end of the video because I actually have some exciting, pretty fun video to watch. And a lot of it's nostalgic stuff for me. Because after we get done with our visit at the mall, my parents and I, we kind of took a drive around Federal Way, my hometown. And we kind of visited some of those sites that I remember going to. And also my parents too, my mom and my dad, both of which are from the channel Traveling with Mike and Pam. I'll have the link to the video down below. This, what you're seeing right now, this is not Federal Way. This is just some B-roll footage that I am using to add into the video so I can actually add in this dialogue when I'm doing the editing. But anyways, hang around until the end of the video so that way you can see some of the other cool places that I have memories of going to, where I proposed to my wife, where we used to go on dates, stuff like that. A whole bunch of really cool, fun, nostalgic things for you to go check out. So stay tuned until the end of the video, and let's have some fun. I mean, come enjoy this with me. This is a big time trip through memory lane for me. All right, at this point of the video, we're actually just randomly traveling. At this point I had already meeting up with my parents, and we're actually driving through Auburn. We're driving through Highway 18 up through Peaslee Canyon, just going up from Auburn to Federal Way. I remember this area. I used to drive down this road all the time, and at this point there's a roundabout that we're going through. That roundabout is actually fairly new. I didn't really film it because I was on the outside part of the vehicle, and rather than the inside. Anyways, I'm going up through that. I remember having to go up and down here because I used to work in Auburn. This is just nostalgic for me. Like I said before, I used to drive up and down this road all the time. And also, now we are actually entering Federal Way as of right now at this point in the video. I remember filling up at that gas station all the time. We actually didn't live too far from here. I'm about to point out a Marriott Hotel. The Marriott Hotel is actually coming up here in just 1 second. The reason why I wasn't really originally planning on pointing this out, but it's the hotel that my wife and I stayed at on our wedding night. The day we got married, January 6th. That's our day before Trump took it over. That's our day, but we stayed there that night. This Pape place, this is what I'm talking about. This is a brand new place. It was not even there last time. It was their little truck shop. And that's actually, like I said, it was a brand new place, and I was not aware that anything was even going to be built there. It used to be just a whole bunch of, like a clump of trees, like a little forest area that you didn't really think much about. It was just more trees, you know what I mean? All right, take note here in just a second. I'm about to film where the Red Robin is, and also where the Federal Way light rail station is going to be, because I ended up talking about those towards sometime during the video, just because I wanted to mark those off. And Black Angus, I always forget about that every time I film up that. But here's a new light rail station. This is brand new as of from the last time I was actually there. That little hand statue, that was in a different location from last time I was here. That used to be close to the apartment where my wife and I first lived in Federal Way, and I point that out towards the end of the video. And also this whole area. So just go ahead and keep note of that, because we do end up talking about that later on in the video. Anyways, just go ahead and take care of the rest of the video and just hang out for the rest of the day. All right, here's Chris the Shrinerdawg coming to you from the future. I'm actually at home now. And the reason why I'm popping in this section is because throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to go over this. I mentioned this briefly in my video. This is the 2008 mall map that I have for the commons at Federal Way, otherwise known as SeaTac Mall to me, the mall that you will be visiting in this video. I'll be interjecting myself at certain points of the mall and going over this map and talking about like what used to be here according to this map in 2008 that we are talking about in the video, and then go on from there. Anyways, go ahead and hang around and watch until the end of the video. Thanks for watching today. Okay, just real quick side note. I'm also here with Mike, my dad from Traveling with Mike and Pam. I have like a little link for him, for his channel down below. I also added like a little card summary here too. But I also wanted to kind of document the Target. Back when I was a teenager, that actually used to be in Mervyn's. Went to Germany for a couple years, came back, it was a Target all gone. The old Target actually used to be over there. And as a matter of fact, this whole little area where the windows are used to have a whole bunch of little shops. There was one that used to be like right here that I particularly remember. It was like, I think it was called Memory, driving down Memory Lane or something like that. It had like a whole bunch of like 50s style signs, sports cards or something like that. All right, up until this point, we were talking about this part of the mall right here, this little part. We went into this Target, and then we came out this little lobby area. And we were just talking about this little area. In that little area, C20 is the Candle Boutique and KB Toys area there. And let's see if I can get it to angle right there. And then C22 is Pearl Vision. C26 was Catherine's Lane Bryant. And then C28, which is this one right here, literally right up against the Target. That was an empty location. That's where C26, that's the Catherine's Lane Bryant. Right next to that was a C22, which is this one right here. That was the Pearl Vision. And then C20, that is where the Candle Boutique and KB Toys was located. And Kohl's, that is something that's new as of like, what, 6-7 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Because like all this right here
It was empty, half empty.
Half empty. And I remember right here was like a hangout. I used to hang out all the time when I was a teenager. It was a Tilt arcade.
There's a way to get back to the mall.
Exactly. There's like a way to get in and out of the mall over there somewhere. This used to be Tilt. This was Tilt is down there somewhere. We'll go walk down there and go check it out. But okay, so all the stores that my dad and I were actually just talking about, the D20, that's where Tilt was, and then D16 was a Pinky and Diane, according to this map. I don't really remember that at all. D14 and D18, they were both empty. D12, right there, where my thumb is at. D12, that was a Daiso, D-A-I-S-O. And then D12 was empty. D10 was also empty. No, D12 was where Daiso was. D10 was empty. D8 was the community corner. Then D6 is like a little one right here. We'll come up to that eventually. We'll get closer to that later on in the video when you come up to the Century Theater. Sorry. D6 was a beauty nail supply store. And then D4 was a teeny tiny little one right there. Right where my thumb was at. Right there. Teeny tiny one right in front of the theater. That was Supernatural Nutrition. And then D2 was an empty storefront there, according to the map at the time. All this used to be a whole bunch of like open space, open stores. And I think right about where these doors are at, there used to be a KB Toys here.
Yeah, before they went bankrupt.
I think they
half the stores here went bankrupt.
Yeah, they closed it. I want to say what, 2003, 4, 5, something like that. Something like that. And
Borders Books used to be in the corner. They went bankrupt.
Yeah, Borders Books. That was another place you and I used to go hang out at.
I love it.
But it's just weird to see all this right here. Opened up signs up there. Okay, now some of the stores we were just talking about. I'm going to go backwards here. That C20 was Candle Boutique and KB Toys. We already talked about that earlier. C19 right there was a Pro Beauty Supply. C18 was another candle store. C16 was a CJ Banks. And then C12 and C13 are two little stores up there. Teeny tiny little ones. But those are empty as of 2008. C10 was a Christopher and Banks. And then C10 was a Christopher and Banks. C8 was empty at the time. And eventually, later on, we'll get to this, but Century Theaters, you'll see when we get to the point where we get to Century Theaters, we'll take a right, kind of talking about over here. But yeah, C8 was empty. C7 was where Mrs. Fields Cookies and TCBY used to be. C6, right next to that, was an Insta Juice Bar. And then C4 is where the Borders was at. And then C2 is where Starbucks is at. You'll see that when we come around the corner. But before we get around to all that, we do mention the Zoomies and all this stuff over here. We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
At the mall, this theater pays half the rent of the mall.
That's like the busiest place. Even the food court's going downhill from what I saw.
Yeah, there.
Oh, there's also something else I remember too. Back before I went to Germany, when Josh was still little, my cousin Josh, there used to be like a little train playground here.
Yeah, I remember.
I used to take him there. Like when before I went to Germany,
You
and
used to take your nephew here.
yeah,
Grayson used to come here. He used to play.
my dad was saying that to my nephew here at this little playground for a little while.
But the theater is half the rent. I think that this wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. But they have, tell them about the plans. They're trying to make this into a road, separate stores, because this place is dying big time.
And if you want to get like a hint about what it used to look like, I remember a lot of the storefronts actually used to look a lot like this too.
Yeah.
A lot of the storefronts look like this, both on that side and this side too.
This has been here. They moved them.
Yeah, I think Famous Footwear has always been a part of the mall. Just oh, the sports store in Zumi. Oh, those are another place I used to go to. Okay, theater.
KB Joe used to be there.
Theater opened up about 2008, 2009. I want to say, right around when my oldest son was born. I think one of the very first movies I actually saw at that theater was The Dark Knight, the second Batman movie with Heath Ledger in it, the Joker. Okay, before we actually go into the food court, sorry, you can see my tablet in the back where I'm editing the video. But right here, the B36, that was a place called Just Sports that sold sports apparel. And then right underneath that, B38, that's where Zoomies was at. We just talked about that. I was just showing that here between the last clip and the next clip. Next clip, we're going to go ahead and go talk in. That's going to be where the food court is. So that's one of the most significant changes, I think, from the mall between the time of the recording of this video and also 2008 when this map was printed.
All these stores here are gone now.
I remember this used to be like a sports apparel store.
Yep.
I used to go get hats there sometimes, and that was like a Zoomies, like a skateboarding stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember you and I used to come and hang out here. This used to be a cookie store, the Mrs. Fields Cookies, that's what it was, yeah. That's right. This was, I think for a little while, this was a Subway.
Subway, yeah, then they're gone. They wanted to be here because they got to get foot traffic for the theater. I guess not.
Yeah. And then this is where the Borders Books used to be.
Yeah, Borders Books used to be right here.
And I remember you used to go there and get like journal books. I used to go here and get comic books. I used to get Spider-Man comics here.
The generic coffee store there.
And then this, I know that was a Starbucks for a while. Starbucks, yeah. Oh. This was for a while it was a pizza stand. This is where the pizza stand used to be. Yeah. Baskin Robbins has been here for a long time. Looking at an old map, Baskin Robbins used to be over by where Orange Julius used to be.
And then Gyros. These are two of the original stores. They've been here forever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they have a Wetzel's Pretzels here now.
Yeah, they do. Oh, this shop's gone.
May Bakery. I used to have really good bao buns, and then this place was really good. I loved coming here. I got here a couple times too. This place was actually really good. Oh, I'm sorry with that. Sorry. Right here. I remember getting these every once in a while. Those gyros, those things are good. Hi. Yeah, I grew up coming to this mall in the 90s.
Wow, you did?
I did. I used to come here all the time in the 90s.
From the 90s?
Yep. Right here.
That's amazing, bro.
April 4th, Dad.
Well, we'll bring
We're close to, well, could you, oh, they're coming back over to April 4th, 2025 is when they're coming back.
Yeah, it's April. It is 2025.
Yep.
They're coming in April.
Yep.
It's not a big deal. 2 years.
Yeah, exactly, that's
All the
right.
way down there, near the Angie's.
Mm-hmm.
Near the Angie's cafe. That's a friend of mine. Her name's Lachey.
Oh, nice.
She sells pastries and stuff like that. Nice, Chris, down there.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, it's glad that you're stepping in the time capsule.
Yeah, exactly,
You can
right.
always come here, man.
Exactly, and like this used to be like a 2 or 3 tiered restaurant you used to sit down at and stuff like that. I remember that.
By the way, they also have. Yeah, I remember there used to be an Asian mart right over there. There used to be. Back when I was in high school, I used to come down here too. But they still got the movie theater down there.
Mm-hmm.
Today's a Tuesday. It's discount Tuesday. You just let them know, and you get to get your tickets discounted.
He's a really nice guy. He was awesome. But yeah, I can remember when I was a kid. This used to be. No, I know that the McDonald's was right here in the corner. I know it was right there, but there was something else that was right there. Oh, was it? And then this for a little while was a Subway. This is where Subway used to be right here.
Subway was there.
Oh, that's right. Subway's there. This is like a
Indian from India food.
And then I think it was also like barbecue, like Texas barbecue. I think it was.
Last long.
Yeah.
Then that was Subway. They moved out for more traffic.
Yeah, and then
Become a cupcake place.
and then this right here has always been like a little area where you can just like sit down.
So they moved to playground here.
Right, and this right here, it used to be like 2 or 3 different tiers where you can actually go up and sit down and that
Yeah,
stuff.
you get cupcakes. They didn't last long.
Yeah.
Then the pizza place is gone.
Ah, man, the pizza place. Side note, this
And then
This
the
is
Cinnabon.
this is actually where the world's first Cinnabon actually opened up. Right here. This is where the original Cinnabon used to be. Now the pizza place is actually completely gone.
Yep.
That's really weird.
It used to be an Asian place. I used to come here for
I remember that.
teriyaki. And then they got me. They did something fries, and they were gone. Wetzel's Pretzels survived.
Wetzel's Pretzels. That was also like a Orange Julius.
No,
I'm-
Orange Juice.
I remember this used to be an Orange Julius
Yeah.
at this stand right here. All right, here we go with the food court. So right here, right underneath where that Zoomies was, that is where the Zeta Pizza and Pasta Bar used to be. And right across from there, that's where Baskin Robbins was. And next to Baskin Robbins was the Gyra House, both of which are still there. And then as we go on, there was it was called a Mamie Bakery. It looks like they're going to be reopening there pretty soon. And then farther down, right across from, right next to where the bathrooms are at, right next to where the Mamie Bakery was, there was what was called a Rose Garden stand. I guess you could kind of say it was like Asian fusion food. And then right next to that was a McDonald's in 2008, so that McDonald's was actually still there in 2008. And then right around the corner from that, right next to that, was a Cinnabon, or not a Cinnabon, but it was a Subway, which eventually turned into like a little steak house, fast food steak, I guess you can say. And then right next to that, it became a Subway eventually. And then the seating area, and then right next to that was the cupcake stand, and then right next to that, that's where Cinnabon. It was a Cinnabon in 2008. Which is like right over here. Cinnabon was right over here at the very end, and that's it eventually became a as you can see in the video, it was a pizza stand, and then right across that little empty red area was that my dad and I were talking about was called a Chinese Gourmet Express. It was a Chinese stand, and then right at the end where the Wetzel's Pretzels is located currently, it was an Orange Julius. It says so right here. It was an Orange Julius. And I think that's all it was at that one particular location at the very end of it. And then, okay, so also when I was a teenager, this is kind of a heartbreak for me to see. This used to be a GameStop, because this is where I used to come and get all my video games. Yeah. Here. I used to come here and just trade in video games, getting whatever. They're gone now. They're gone now, yeah. I look, a Hot Wheels machine.
Oh, yeah, that's right there.
Oh, that's new. Oh, right here. The Oriental Massage right there. Yeah. I remember that used to be a sweet factory. Yeah. Sweet tooth factory. When they had the AMC Mall or the AMC theaters over there. So I know they had an AMC theater over by where the Starbucks used to be.
Victoria. What's that?
Victoria's Secret.
It used to be there. Now it's that place there.
And there used to be a whole bunch of like little booths right here too.
Yeah.
All right, so at this point in the video, we are right here in this little area just outside these stores. And like I said, it used to be like a whole bunch of like jewelry stores, stands, wireless. Let's see, corner here, it says AT&T, Clearwire, Millennium Wireless, or in other words, T-Mobile, Quest Solution Center, Sprint, Touchtel, also T-Mobile, Verizon Wireless, Wireless Edge. There was a Photo Jewelry, Treasure Island, which was also like a jewelry stand, Hair Plus, and stuff like that, Wireless Edge. But yeah, that Treasure Island, that's what I was talking about in the video that my friend Donnie used to go and visit all the time. And then I think a Gap used to be like where that glass area was. Champ Sports used to be at the other end of the mall. And I remember this whole corner used to be something called the Cartoon Club. Yeah. I remember going there and buying a couple Spider-Man shirts when I was a teenager.
In the zone used to be in the Super Mall, but when they went to be a discount mall, they moved over here.
All right, so I kind of feel like it would be a good time to split it up now. But we're talking about like right here, this is where the Gap and stuff that used to be, let's see, E4, E2 and E4. Another jewelry shop. This is like the end of the mall that used to be have like a whole bunch of like jewelry stands and stuff like that. That's pretty much the majority of where all the jewelry stuff is right here. This whole middle section pretty much. In the food court, we pointed out that this little area right here used to be like a triple decker, like you can sit in the main level, the one level up, and the one level up, like 3 levels of seating for the food court area. The whole play area is here now. And in 2008, when this map was printed, the play area used to be right here. You'll see it later on in the movie, or you'll see it later on in the video. I should also point out at this time that I mentioned that Champ Sports is roughly over here, is here now, whereas before Champ Sports used to be right about right here where F5 used to be. And Famous Footwear, it is no longer there. Well, it's not anywhere here at this location anymore. You can see that it's now over on this side of the mall. So it pretty much changed locations, but just from one side of the mall to the other side of the mall. I also need to point out that this Sears is no longer here. It is now the Amazon Fresh and one other store. We'll talk about it later on in the video. You'll see. Kohl's is now here. And all these shops have been taken out right here. And that's where the open window was you saw at the very beginning of the movie or the video. And then over here, you'll see it later on, but Daiso had originally moved from over here to over here. And I also pointed out that at the video, at the end of the video, you'll see this is probably gonna be like the last inserted video I put into today's video. It's actually right across the street over in this area, where it would be over in this area. This whole area is pretty much closed and has nothing there. There is a Dick's Sporting Goods over here now. So all this is gone here. I'm trying to see, F12, it used to be like a, all this used to be like the Federal Way School District. It used to be the Federal Way Police Substation used to be here. There used to be a do-it-yourself document stand over here, so it's like tax and stuff like that. Wizards of the Coast used to be over here. Wizards of the Coast, if you don't know who that is, they used to be people who used to print Pokemon cards. They currently print Magic the Gathering cards. They also write stories for Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. They used to have a storefront over here. And later on in the video, you'll see that Macy's is no longer here. It's like a rug manufacturer, or not manufacturer, but it's like a rug reseller. And later on in the video, you'll see that I pointed out that Applebee's used to be right here. Used to be there, but at the time of the map, of the printing of the map, Applebee's is out here. McGrath's Fish House, we also mentioned that too. That is Mama Stortellini's now. You'll see that later on in the video. And then TGI Fridays, at the time of the printing of this map, this was supposed to be a TGI Fridays, but it never opened as a TGI Fridays. It opened up as Buffalo Wild Wings. Panera Bread and Verizon Wireless, they're still there. And at the very beginning of the video, you'll see that there was like a light rail station that they're building. It's not quite open yet, but it's actually located right around over here too. The end of the line was right around here, but they're actually going to be extending that to further up this way. I'm not sure how far they're going to go, but Aztec and Red Robin, the buildings are actually no longer there anymore. Last time I was here in the area, the buildings were still there, but they were fenced off and they were closed. Aztec is actually located probably, if there is stuff over here in this part of the map, it's located over here, whereas Red Robin, that was always a Red Robin, but this used to be like a whole bunch of different stuff like Tony Roma's and stuff like that. Aztec used to be over here, but now it's over here. Red Robin is actually over here somewhere, and it used to be like a Ram, or it used to be a Ram, and then they closed. The Ram was like a brewery steakhouse, and now it's no longer there, and it's a Red Robin now. And I think that concludes our tour using the map of how it used to look like. I'll go ahead and at the end of the video, I'll go ahead and add a screenshot. So that way, if you ever really want to like take a look at it, you can take a better look at it and add it in and follow along with me.
And then, yeah, in the zone, that used to be, I think it was an Abercrombie for a while, was it? Or an American Eagle or something like that.
Or Bath and Beyond.
Oh yeah, Bath and Body Works, that used to be over here, like where that hat stop was, and then where that Kika's Fashion is or something. I remember that they used to be a place called Sam Goody.
Yeah, almost all the major stores you see are gone. These are all local, now I count local stores.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, because this right here, along with like where the Coke thing, that all used to be like a Gap and Gap Kids.
Good, yeah. That stuff's very good.
Yeah.
Let's see. And I just remember there used to be a whole bunch of like, you know, necklace stands like right here in the area. I remember one of my old neighbors used to hang out with one of our neighbors, Donnie. He used to go over there and buy necklaces there.
And he used to sell phones here too.
And he used to sell phones here. R.I.P. Donnie. He died about 13, 14 years ago.
Killed.
Yeah.
When he first went up.
Yep.
That's all the stuff.
Yep.
And I don't know about that place. This used to be a place where
Oh, that place is closed. They used to sell like used electronics there, right?
music, electronics right here.
Huh.
Got barber shops.
That barbershop was a what's it called? Jewelry stand, I think, for a while. Okay, now I have to admit that there was a girl I used to have a crush on when I was a teenager. She worked at this jewelry store. It was something else. I can't remember what it was.
That barber shop's gone. There used to be a barber shop there, and if you want to cross the way.
Save the day. That used to be Macy's, and the Bon Marché before that.
Yeah, so it's just a.
And that playground we saw over in the food court, this is where it used to be. I remember the playground was here for a little while, but before the playground was there, it was just like a whole bunch where like an area where you can just like sit down and just like take it easy. Dang, this is way different than from when I was a kid.
Used to be hairstyling.
That barber college, people who are fans of malls, you can tell what the barber college used to be. That was like a Suncoast motion picture company place. Yep. I'll walk a little bit closer to that here in a second. That's just crazy. Macy's. You can even see where the old Macy's logo. If you look behind where it says Save, you can see the old star.
Yeah.
And it's in Macy's.
The old hair studio.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That every mall has everything you remember.
Everything you remember. There was also like a Hallmark. It was like a Hallmark store, wasn't there?
Well, they moved. Before you went to Utah, they moved to the other place across the street.
Oh, that's right.
Where Tilt used to be.
Yeah, that's right. Where the Tilt used to be over by where the Target was, right next to it. And then for a few years, they moved over to where, not the Barber College, because that's where Suncoast used to be, but next to the Suncoast, where it's called the Table. That's where Tilt moved.
Because that store took the whole site. So they had to move them over here. This alteration's been there for a little while.
The alteration, I remember the boutique, wasn't that like the kids' cameras you used to go to?
Yeah, I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
Then we have Dick's Sporting Goods right here.
I remember growing up, this whole end of the mall was kind of like the dead side of the mall.
Yeah. Then Sears, where the wall is, that's where Sears used to be.
Yeah, the Sears is actually, I don't know if you know this, but it was one of the original stores that opened up when the mall opened up.
Yeah.
And it was the last store to open up, or stay open, from the original time when the mall was open. Now it's closed.
Yeah, now all the stores on that side, you can't get there from here. You have to get in from the outside, and they're successful on that side.
What is it, like an Amazon?
Amazon grocery store, what are they called nowadays?
Okay. And even the exterior of the mall. Oh, side note, I may have mentioned this in a mall or in an older video too. All this, to me, is still kind of new because I grew up when it had like the whole like 70s aesthetic.
They redid this about 10 years ago to make it more, because it used to be a 70s vibe.
Yeah, because I remember I went to Germany and I came back and that's when the all renovation, like 2003 to 5 is when I was there. And like,
but the outside, all the stores outside are doing very well. It's just the stores in. There's nothing here for the people to come here to go shopping, really.
Yeah. Let's take a video of the mall.
Can we go outside? Okay.
This real quick, because like,
oh yeah,
I kind of want to go over to where like the Sears, see if they had like a little label scarf for it too. This is kind of like the layout of the mall right here. So this is where we're at. Oh,
this is where we came in. We came in right here.
It's a Burlington now.
Now Burlington is here, but you want to get there from outside.
Okay, so
Fresh almost done. It's again from the outside. This is a local.
This is new because last time I was here, that was not even there.
You don't get why people like it so much, but there's always a line, so it's doing very well. Then this is where the old Sears garage used to be.
Where they do the oil changes.
They're just now building this here, but you know you have all these places out here, and they're all doing very well outside.
And these are this Applebee's. I remember the Applebee's used to be like right there.
Yeah.
And then all this used to be the Sears. There's the oil place right there. This is also like a whole bunch of like different stores. This used to be the Bon Marché. This used to be like a Le Mans or...
Yeah, then they tore it down, rebuilt the theater. But the thing that they want to do now is tear most of this stuff down. They're going to keep this and this, maybe get rid of that in the theater, and they'll make it like a road, build outside stuff, and they're going to put apartments above it so people can live up there. And like they do in a city we call Kent, which does very well. So that way they could bring people to don't go to malls anymore. They just
especially not up here. Like University Mall down in Utah, like where the mall I live by, that one is always packed. But like everywhere else you go, Provo Town Center is an example. There's also the shops in South Jordan down in Utah. It's a lot like this, where it's like kind of dead. But I mean, they have more stores open up, but there's like nobody going there.
The problem here is this is a city. This is a bedroom city. No one comes to Federal Way to shop because it's a bedroom city. And then you got 5 miles down the road, you got a mall. You got 6 miles that way, you got a big major mall.
South Center, right?
South Center. So you got and they're doing very well. And this is right between. So they go, let's go to South Center and shop. They don't never say let's go to Federal Way and shop.
And also last time I was here, Tacoma Mall they were doing a whole bunch of construction, like they demolished a lot of, and they looks like they're
doing very well. So this place was malled out. It was just simply too many malls.
And I think that like, of the 3 malls we just mentioned, South Center, Tacoma Mall, and SeaTac, or I used to call it SeaTac because that's what I grew up calling it.
Yeah.
But now it's the Commons at Federal Way.
I think there's a way to get out up here too.
Yeah, but like I think between the 3 malls, this is probably like the least successful out of the 3. I think they all opened right around the same time.
The best it's ever done was okay, done fairly well, but as you can tell, that stopped after 10 years. But people, like I said, Bellevue Mall, we have 4 malls up here that do very well. The rest of them has been torn down or changed to something else.
So also side note, like all this, like on the other side of the mall, all this used to be a whole bunch of different storefronts that were just like empty. There was a Radio Shack. The only place I would ever go to other than the Sears right here. I'll come meet you in a second. But other than going to the Sears, so this, you can tell that that's a Sears entrance. But over here, there used to be a Radio Shack that I used to go to just get like weird stuff. Oh wow, this is empty too. This used to be like a Daiso, like Sanrio Surprise or something like that. Wow. Dang. I know I'm talking a lot about the place, but I'm just shocked to see. Well, I don't know if I'm shocked to see it like this because it's been like this for a while, but just like all these changes that they changed after I moved to Utah. It's just wow. It's like it's crazy. Like I said, so the Radio Shack used to be here. There was never a place to go out of the mall over there, but I want to say Radio Shack started right about where this line was and went about halfway. Then it shared another storefront about halfway with a different store over here. You can even see the line between the brick and the stucco where it was added on. You see all that. And for as long as I can remember, this was all the Sears. I mean, this has been updated for sure. You see where you just say Sears and stuff like that. Yeah, wow. And at the end of this video, I'll go ahead, because I have a mall map of SeaTac Mall from 2008. I'll add that on at the video so that way you can see how much has changed between 2008 and 2025 today as the film in this video. But it's just crazy how much it has changed. Okay, so now we just left outside the main Dick's entrance, but you can see that Harbor Freight Tools. That used to be when we first moved there, it used to be called like the Good Guys or something like that. It was like an electronics store, and then it was Gen X for a while, and then I don't know what it was between that and Harbor Freight, but it's Harbor Freight now.
See there, you have the Dick's on the other side, which is good.
Oh, there you go, that right there, Burlington and Amazon.
Stores are doing well. You have the bank in the corner.
That bank, it used to be a Washington Mutual, and then I think Chase bought them out.
Then you have those 3 stores there. Your Chili's, or
that's Applebee's. Applebee's used to be like right here by where the FedEx office is.
Yeah, so these stores out here are doing really well.
And I remember when that one, I think it's Mama's Tortellini's or something like that right there.
Yeah, it used to be a Garth's. They went on.
It used to be called McGrath. It was a fish house, McGrath's Fish House. Yeah, I remember when it first opened. Because I remember I have pictures I took when they were building all this. I don't have any digital copies of them.
Because people like to drive up the store, get out, and go to a store. They don't want to walk around the malls anymore. So when they take most of these down and put a road here, you could drive up to the store, get out. They have farmers, people living there, and they will always shop. So people like to drive to the store and get out.
Yeah, it even looks like the Ivar's Seafood. I know that's been there for a long time, but it looks like Ivar's.
Ivar's been there.
I know it's been there, but it looks like they just recently got renovated.
Yeah, that's been there since we've been here.
And the Umpqua Bank.
Used to be a Burger King.
It used to be Burger King. Yeah, that was nasty.
Garbage.
It was nasty Burger King.
Dirty.
And then
Wendy's is gone because of the light rail.
Yep, Wendy's is gone. That was a good one. Light rail's going in there. That whole complex over there is gone. I remember Carter's used to be like the Old Country Buffet or something like that.
It's still there. It's a different name.
I actually think it just recently closed. I think the Golden Spoon or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it just recently closed from what I've heard.
People don't go to those anymore.
And that's where it is, because Dazo. That's the store I was just filming inside the mall. It's inside the.
That used to be in here.
That used to be in here. Now that's over there.
A lot of stores from here went out there. It's like you say, there you could pull up, drive in front, and get out and go shopping there.
Yeah, no one wants to come here. But honestly, I think if they added in those apartments, I think it might be a good idea for
I
them
think
to do.
so. You know, you drive there, you park, you could have a place you park, you live here. Those people tend to go to Dick's, get a burger, or they might want to go to other places to eat. And they might throw in a few more restaurants here. And they'll good place. So I think that would be better. And the city council is getting with the people who own the mall here and see what they could do to help make that happen.
Exactly.
Because his uncle, my brother-in-law, is city council, and that's what they're trying to do, and try to make this more of a place to shop. We went to Old Country Buffet for Thanksgiving because there was no one else.
That's what we did with a few years ago with the Golden Corral. Golden Corral, I think it's called. Yeah, that's what we did a couple years ago because we were the only people there.
This is not. You could cut here, out here, and they do well because you don't have to go in the mall.
Yeah, because this is where Applebee's was, and then
No, Applebee's was across there.
no, the Applebee's was here, and then there was a Mexican restaurant. I think it was
yeah.
called like Torero's or something like that. I think. Let's go on through this door because we haven't walked down this hallway yet.
This is more busy than the main hallway, which I don't understand. Until recently, this used to be a travel agency.
I remember there's like Doug Fox, I think it was.
And
Doug
then,
Fox Travel or something.
Even when the internet came, they would help you do cruises because you could still do cruises and make money. This barbershop was new.
Yeah.
It's been here for a while.
Yeah, I remember that being there for a while.
This is new. This is, like I said, it used to be everything remembered.
Okay.
Like I said, all the major jewelry stores are gone.
It's just crazy to me how much it's changed. Even like I was saying, I think the last time I was actually here in this mall was probably 2018. I think it was the last time I was actually in here.
Well, COVID wasn't nice to anybody.
Yeah.
It was very bad to us.
Yeah, last time I was here in this mall was 2018, and it seemed like even then there were more stores there. I can share a link to that video because I hadn't made a video at that trip. I can put the link to the video down in the description box down below. But like last time I was actually in this city in Federal Way was in 2020. It was right after COVID hit. My little sister actually got married, and that's why we were here. And that was actually the last time I was actually here in Washington for a family, as a family. I actually don't even remember like a sign like this being up here. But like I was saying, like I was telling you earlier, I remember there used to be like what, 6 booths right around here.
Yeah.
And it was like jewelry stands. It was.
That was the refurb they did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the way they did it. I mean, it was dated, but even that didn't help.
Yeah, I think it might have been a little bit too late when they did all the major. This used to be the Abercrombie & Fitch. That's what that was. Okay, sorry, I was distracted, but yeah, like
when all those major stores start leaving, you forget it. You're not going to be sustainable. Who's going to come here for a home? Who knows a home you're going to sit?
Yeah, like you said, I think it was the refurb was a little too late to come.
Yeah.
Also, I do have to say, like right here, when that Cinnabon was here, I remember when we first moved here, there used to be like a little
step.
The little step, the cash register used to be like right here. Like it was like from that end to right about when it starts to turn in there was when the Cinnabon was there. The back office was back in there. Then I think it was a different business over there by where the pop machine was.
That's where you can watch them make the Cinnabon stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That was all right here.
And when you were here in '95 for 10 years, this used to be packed with people.
Oh yeah.
McDonald's. There's no restaurants that'll keep you to eat here. There's snacky food. This is nice. It's good, but it's snacky food.
Yeah, and like on top of that, when that McDonald's was over there in the corner, there also used to be that AMC theater. So I think everybody used to come over, buy their movie tickets, and then come over here to eat something. It was kind of confusing because there also used to be an AMC theaters across the street over by where the old Toys R Us used to be.
That's what I was surprised when they brought the theaters here. I thought it will resurrect the restaurants here, but they're dropping like flies.
And on top of that, when it comes to the theaters, I thought the same thing when they opened up the theaters here, like what, 07, 08. I thought it was going to help revitalize the mall, but I think a lot of people are coming from the outside going into the theater.
There's a way to get in from the back.
Yeah. And it's a nice theater. It's like It's
very nice.
a very nice theater. It's just, it didn't. I don't think it helped the mall as much as they were hoping for it to be. I also remember like this little place used to be like a little local like video game store that would sell used video games and stuff like that for a long time.
Where the Metro is. Used to be Lance Julius, and your mom used to work there when they got married.
Oh, okay. And the blue right here, that's where the Sweet Tooth Factory used to be. I remember like when they had the AMC theaters right around the corner, we'd go there and get our movie tickets, and we'd come over here and we'd get like a couple pounds of candy, but somehow we would sneak it in.
Yeah.
I think Donnie used to work at this stand right here. So.
Oh, I know what that used to be. What's that jewelry store?
Claire, that used to be Claire's right there in the corner. I forgot about that. I forgot that used to be Claire's. Yeah.
Not only did the big stores leave, but a lot of stores like Payless Shoe Stores, Borders, you have all these stores that went bankrupt nationwide, and they left, and that's one of the reasons why. But like I said, can you imagine this being a road now? They could keep Kohl's, they could keep Target, Dick's, and have a road here with side stuff and apartments.
Kind of like open it up a little bit. Kind of like I've done a Gateway mall in Salt Lake. I could probably post a link to that, so I can kind of give the people like
the place we went to when I visited Salt Lake.
That outdoor mall, where they had the Olympics and all that stuff. Yeah.
And places like that thrive.
Oh yeah. I'll share a link to that video down below so you can watch what we're talking about.
I did that video there too.
Yep. I remember going over there, like across the street where all like light rail construction stuff is going on. That used to be like Desert Industries, Outback Steakhouse, Laser Quest, Wendy's. All that used to be out there. Used to go out there all the time too. Now it's a light rail. I think my dad was saying the light rail is going to open up, I think springtime at some point. All right, if you made it to this point of the video, thank you very much. Now let's go down through nostalgic lane for me. Anyways, you'll see that McDonald's right there. We're gonna drive right by it. That was actually my very first official job outside of doing like a paper route. So that's where I went to all the way through high school. That's where I worked out all 3 years in high school. I used to walk 2 or 3 miles every single day. That's where the old Aztec used to be, just right next to it. Anyways, I used to walk to that McDonald's all the time just to get, because I used to take the bus from high school to go all the way to work. And I still had to walk 2 or 3 miles to get there. Transit Center, that was built about 2007, 2008. This light rail is brand new. The whole complex that this is taking over. It's weird to see that is not there anymore because that's where Gateway Movies 8 used to be. And my wife, we used to live right across the street from there, so that's where we used to go watch our movies. Anyways, this is our first our apartment complex that you can see on the screen. We're just driving down into our apartment complex. We driving here, it's just weird. At first, when I first came in, my parents were like, "Oh, this is where you lived right here." I'm like, this is the area. They were thinking that this is the area that we lived in. Anyways, they forgot that we had to go all the way around, turn left at the entrance right there, drive right around where that swimming pool is, and then go down this street a little bit. And we drive right by. I'm pointing in the screen where I'm telling them, like, is that building right at the end, right on by the corner of the screen on the left? It's that building. Right stairwell, you can see it behind there, and second floor is where we lived. Anyways, we're back out of the apartment complex. This is where the Toys R Us and the old Target used to be. For that building right there, that's a performing arts building. That's where the Toys R Us was. The old Target used to be across the street from there. And it's just weird because I went to Germany and that Target was still open, and then Target where it's at the mall right now, that's where Mervyn's used to be. It wasn't always a Target, but then I went to Germany from 2003 until 2005, and that was Mervyn's. And then it changed to Target when I was gone in Germany. Anyways, here we're going down to Redondo Pier in Des Moines, Washington. And this is where I actually proposed to my wife, coming up here in just a second. I pointed, there's a little archway, rock formation, right there. That's where I proposed to my wife. And this is where my wife and I, like when we were dating and when we first got married, we spent a lot of time here at this pier. As you can see, it's a pretty popular place, and I think it's a 1 or 2 mile stretch of boardwalk you just walk by. And during low tide there, you'd be able to go and sit there and have some lunch or have a picnic or some sort. And while we were dating, we're about to pull up to the house that I grew up in. When my family moved to Federal Way from Germany in 1995, we actually lived in this cul-de-sac that we're coming up to. And So there's a fence, and then the one house, and we lived in this blue house coming up right there. It still looks pretty much the same. It was not as trashy. It was not as trashy back when we lived there. There used to be a big old tree right there in the firebox. My cousin lives right next door there. We used to live there. They used to live right next to us. And right about a couple miles up the road, this is the house right here coming up with the two garage doors right here. That's where my grandma and grandpa used to live when we were kids. Anyways, when I was a teenager, we would spend almost every single Saturday there at my grandparents' house. And I'm sorry I got to reuse some footage right now because I got a little bit more to say. Whenever we were not at a Mariners game, we would spend pretty much every single Saturday night there, either playing board games or just, reminiscing about a lot of stuff. All right, thank you for coming on this nostalgic trip with me down memory lane. In this video, this was actually the very first time I had been in SeaTac Mall since 2018. And at the time of this video, the recording of the video at the mall, that was filmed on March 25th, 2025. So just a few days ago, just a few days prior to posting this video onto YouTube. Thank you again. I thank you for coming to down memory lane. Don't forget to check out the links down below. And I've noticed that the majority of the people who do watch my videos or actually end up finding my videos are not yet subscribed to my channel. So why don't you go ahead and do yourself a favor and do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. And don't forget to check out the other links down below. If you want to help support this channel, those are some important links for you to check out. Anyways, I'm looking forward to doing another video in the future, and I hope you guys come along for the ride. And again, I really sincerely thank you for watching my video. And until the next video, we'll see you then.
Hey everybody watching has to subscribe. Subscribing is cool. Thanks.